Okay, we're on the record for Thursday afternoon criminal docket for July 8th, 2021. First, Mr. David Guarena, were we ready on your restitution hearing?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Larumbe is present. He does need the services of an interpreter, Judge.
Okay, so, and is the state ready to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor, the state does have an announcement on these cases.
Okay, let me go ahead and recall that. Do you remember what number was on the
It was
morning?
number 16, Your Honor.
Okay, I had it earmarked and then I guess I missed it. Okay, that is CR 1805951-I, the state of Texas versus Jose Juan Larumbe. And what is the announcement?
Your Honor, the state has tried multiple times to get in contact with the victims, Ana Castillas and Juan Ontiveros Ibarra. Letters have been undeliverable, and the victims have not provided any restitution information to our office. At this time, the state is asking that restitution be set at $0.
Okay, anything from defense counsel?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, then that'll be the order of the court. Restitution will be set at 0. Okay, and how much time do you need to conclude the matter, Ms. Guarena?
Your Honor, that is all that is pending. The case will be resolved administratively. The defendant's already pled.
Okay, so then what I'll do is I'll set a tickler for July 23rd just to make sure that we've already concluded.
Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Guarena, do you have anything else?
No, Your Honor, that's all I have. May me and my client be excused?
Yes, you may, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay, Attorney Nereida Morales Martinez.
Yes, Your Honor. Good afternoon. I have Mr. Francisco Guerrero. He is logged on, Judge.
Okay, I do see a Francisco Guerrero. Mr. Guerrero, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Ms. Morales Martinez, do you remember what number it was on the court's docket from this morning?
Yes, Your Honor. It was number 64.
Thank you. Okay, the court's going to call CR 20-01355-I, the state of Texas versus Francisco Guerrero. Okay, so Mr. Guerrero, when you the announcement was made earlier because your attorney was present, but you are required to also be present. So I don't know if there was any additional announcement from the state that needed to be made on the record.
No, Your Honor, there was none. I've already spoken with Ms. Morales, and I've extended a recommendation already.
Okay, then we'll return on August the 31st at 9:30.
And Judge, if I may, I did, when I was able to find my client, I relayed that recommendation to him. I'm sorry to say that I think kind of the conversation didn't go well, Your Honor. At this time, with the court's permission, I was preparing a written motion to withdraw. However, I'd like to make an oral motion to withdraw at this time. Mr. Guerrero is not, I guess, satisfied with my representation of him and tells me that he will be retaining Mauro Reina to represent him. And so I'd ask that the court allow me to withdraw. And perhaps by August the 31st, Mr. Guerrero can show up with Mr. Reina.
Okay, Mr. Guerrero, any objection to Ms. Morales Martinez withdrawing?
Sí, pero ella me dijo ahorita que el abogado...
Okay, sir, first of all, will you be speaking to the court in English or in Spanish? ¿Español or inglés?
Español.
Okay.
Hablo mejor
Okay.
y me pone español.
Está bien. Entonces va a necesitar que esperar hasta que traduzcan lo que está diciendo. So necesita que hablar despacio. Okay. So, ¿qué es lo que quiere decir?
No, es que la mera verdad yo siento que no me están ayudando. Porque dicen...
Okay. Mr. Guerrero, la pregunta es muy sencilla. ¿Usted objeta que ya se retire Ms. Morales Martínez de este caso, sí o no?
Sí.
¿Que se puede retirar?
Sí, pero ella me dijo a mí que primero mi abogado le tiene que hablar a ella.
Ok, está bien, pero ¿tiene usted problema que se retire de este caso?
Sí, porque
No me está entendiendo, Ms. Castaneda. I tell him that he is not understanding what I'm saying.
yes, I know what you're saying, ma'am. I know what you're saying. I know
Okay.
what you're saying. I'm just telling you to express myself. That's why
Stop,
you're a judge. Correct?
stop. Okay, now I can understand why the communication between you and your attorney is like this. So I'm gonna allow Ms. Morales Martinez to withdraw from the case. You get with Mr. Reina and he is to file his motion for substitution of counsel as soon as possible. If you're not going to retain him, then retain someone else. But I will not be appointing anyone else to your case. So you want to retain somebody, that is well within your right. Retain someone. And so
Yes,
you
I know
started to
it's
speak to
my
me in
right.
English, so I'm going to speak to you in English. You are to return here on August the 31st at 9:30 a.m. with your new attorney. Do you understand me?
Yes, I know. I understand you.
Okay, that took care of that. Ms. Morales Martinez, you are allowed to withdraw.
Thank you, Judge.
And just
That
get
is,
your order granting the withdrawal.
I will, Judge. And that is all I have before this court. May I be excused?
You certainly may. Okay,
Thank
Mr. Arredondo, I understand that you have to be in federal court, sir. What is the matter? What is your case? All right.
Good afternoon, Judge. I'm here for Eric Roel, Your Honor, number 46 on your docket.
Okay, and is he present on the screen?
Living here in my office, Judge. He's here on screen now.
Okay, CR 1508834-I, the state of Texas versus Eric Roed. And what is your announcement, counselor?
We're here just to recall a NISA.
Okay, any announcement from the state?
No, Your Honor, no objection to the NISA being recalled.
Okay, so the court will recall that NISI. And I'm gonna reset you for a status conference. Unless you have something to report to me today, Mr. Redondo.
No, Your Honor, a status conference would be good so we can get a recommendation.
August 26th at 9:30. If you would like a recommendation from the state, please send them an email so they can return a rec to you.
We'll do, Your Honor.
Okay, do you know if your client has a device?
No, no, Judge, he does not.
Okay,
It's a Class B, Judge. His first DWI, there was no accident.
okay, yeah, sometimes the magistrates though do still require one. Okay, then we'll see you back on that date.
Yes, thank you, Judge. May I be excused?
You certainly may.
Thank you, Judge. Have a good afternoon.
Thank you. Okay. Mr. Oxford from the morning docket.
Yes, Judge. We reached out again. We tried reaching out to the mother. We've sent text messages, multiple phone calls. Judge, we did get a phone call and a message this morning, which I can play for the court if you'd like, but it does say that her mother was informed that the case was going to be reset. I can play that for the court if the court would like, but I mean, that's in essence what it says. It's about a minute long.
Okay. No, the thing is, no, I will take your word for it, Mr. Oxford. If you heard the voicemail or whatever it was that was sent to you, I will take your word for it. The issue that I have is that the mother stating that she thought the case involving her was going to be reset, or the case involving her daughter, all 5 cases were going to be reset.
The way that I understood, so this is basically, it's not coming directly from the horse's mouth. This is coming from my client who heard it from her mother. There may be something that was misinterpreted, but the way that it sounds to me is that she was informed by one of the ADAs that they were going to be resetting the cases.
Okay, so look, I understand now there's obviously some miscommunication because the ADA would not communicate directly with the defendant. So
Correct.
I'm going to give you an opportunity to make it very clear to her that she is to appear at the next setting, or else I'm going to issue a NISI. So let's come back on August the 26th at 9:30, and she is to be present. If she's not present, tell her no matter what you argue, I'll issue a NISI, okay?
I understand, Judge, and I'll express to her how generous you're actually being on this one. No, I shouldn't say actually, because that makes it sound, just doesn't come up, the audio doesn't come across very well. But I'll explain to her how generous you're being, Judge.
Okay, anything else then? Because that took care of, I think you're the last one from this morning's docket.
That's all I got, Judge.
That's okay.
May I be excused?
You certainly may.
I appreciate it, Judge. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Okay, just fair warning, everyone else, tread lightly. Our lunch hour was cut in half, okay? So anyway, all right, if you have quick announcements for pleas that are not ready, please use your reaction button. Okay, Mr. Peña.
Yes, Your Honor, I do. Number 23 on your docket, Teresa Margarita Fuentes.
Okay, and is Ms. Fuentes present with you?
She is present here with us, Your Honor, on Zoom. Judge, we've got paperwork ready to be executed, but I need to go over a few things. We'll be ready in a couple of weeks.
Okay, the earliest I have for a plea is August 26th at 1:30.
That's just fine, Your Honor. August 26th at
Okay.
1:30.
All right, then CR 19-13264-I, State of Texas versus Teresa Fuentes, is reset to August the 26th at 1:30, sir.
Thank you very much, Your Honor. That's all I have.
Thank you. Okay, Attorney Desiree Dietz.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. I have 5 cases on your docket this afternoon. It's State of Texas versus Stephanie Diaz, and that's 17-21 on your docket.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, and is Ms. Diaz present?
She is present, Judge.
Okay, and Stephanie Diaz, can you please announce yourself?
Yes, ma'am. I'm here, Stephanie Diaz.
Okay, and what is your announcement, Counselor?
Your Honor, in these cases, we have worked something out with the state on all but one. On the assault case, Judge, I believe the state was going to reach out to the victim or to the alleged victim. We did provide a phone number for him, and I believe that's the only thing we were waiting on. I'm not sure if they were able to get a hold of him.
Okay, will she be ready for a plea for August 26th, do you think?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, let's do August the 26th at 1:30.
And Your Honor, if I may,
Yes.
we are going to be able to dismiss the assault case with the rest of the plea. We're going to honor the prior agreement from the previous court.
So
Thank you.
It's Christmas in July after all, Ms. Diaz, okay? Now,
Thank you.
just for the future, Ms. Diaz, please, there are no muscle shirts or anything like that. That's
Oh,
allowed
okay,
in
yes.
court, okay? Okay, so when you come back on August the 26th at 1:30, we'll take care of those cases for you.
Okay.
Okay.
So they are
Thank you.
just, sorry, so they are getting dismissed or?
Your attorney will explain what the plea
Okay.
involves.
Thank you, Your
Thank
Honor. May we be excused?
You certainly may.
Thank
Okay,
you.
Attorney Melinda Diaz. You're on mute.
Thank you, Your Honor. For some reason, I don't have the raised hand one. I apologize.
Oh, we had that conversation in the morning docket. You might be using an outdated Zoom, and then plus the ones that have the raise your hand button, they pay extra for a fast pass.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Well, Judge, first of all, I'm standing.
Just joking.
Judge, and I updated during lunch, Judge. It was an old version that I was using.
I will try now.
I was gonna
Okay.
let you know, Melinda, you need to update it.
I will, Judge.
Okay, so
Judge.
I needed a little humor. You should have seen us this morning. Everybody was in trouble, all these violations, and I know, and then my lunch hour gets cut in half, and no, not good at all. So let's see if this afternoon is a little bit better. So Ms. Diaz, how can I help you today?
The first one is number 26 on your docket, Wilbur Antonio Gonzalez. I am standing in for J.R. Garza, Your Honor. I believe that his office called your court this morning. Let them know he is on vacation. He will return on July 14th. So if they could reset that plea anytime after July 14th, Your Honor.
Okay, do you know if Mr. Wilbur Gonzalez is present with us today?
I really do not know, Judge. I wasn't able to call him since I didn't have his phone number. I apologize.
Okay, August 26th at 1:30.
Thank you, Your Honor. August 26th. In addition to, Judge, I have number 25 on your docket, Maria Isabel Garza. This will be a plea. Apparently, the plea paperwork has not been received, Judge. My client is on Zoom.
Okay, but Has the state showed that the plea documents? have
No,
been-
that's why, Judge, but I will be resending them right after this.
Okay, I did see your client on. So then the earliest I have, Ms. Diaz, is August 26th at 1:30, ma'am.
It will-
Or Judge, if I may, if defense counsel can provide the paperwork right now, I can review it, and if the court would be inclined to accept the plea, and I could file the plea paperwork after Ms. Diaz has been in contact with me constantly about the case. I did provide her with paperwork. So I believe that she did, provide it to us. It just got lost in the email.
That's a nice way of saying you've been calling a lot, Melinda. No.
No, not at all.
I can email, Judge, I can email it to her right now.
I'll recall it
And we'll
shortly.
wait.
Just let me know when you're ready and I'll recall it shortly.
Thank you so much, Your Honor.
Okay.
Thank you, Gabriela.
Okay. Attorney Hector Bustos, what do you have, Mr. Bustos? Because this morning you brought me a problem client. No,
Well, Judge, I got some more. No, I'm joking, Judge.
no. I bet, talk about, Mr. Oxford was worried about what he was saying on YouTube. I need to worry about what I'm saying on YouTube.
Well, no, Judge, I think that, this whole process has been tedious with people. And I think that some people are frustrated. And all right, Judge, I know the only person that's allowed not to get frustrated is you, Judge.
No, the only person you don't want
Oh,
frustrated.
no, it
is
should be,
me.
yeah. You're the
Okay.
Judge, man. You conduct court the way you want, Judge.
Okay, what can I do for you today, Mr. Bustos?
Judge, I got number 34 in your criminal docket, Judge.
Okay, so number 34 on the docket is CR 20-06638-I, the state of Texas versus Kiar, K-I-A-R Roberts. Is Mr. Roberts on?
I believe he is, Judge.
Mr. Roberts?
I'm on.
Thank you, sir. Okay, and what is your announcement?
Judge, on this case, Judge, the state of Texas have initially sent us a plea bargain to dismiss one case and to enter a deferred plea on one. At this point in time, Judge, my client's had a change of opinion, Judge. He does want to submit to the pretrial diversion program, Judge. So I'd ask the court to give us ample time to do that, Judge.
Okay, so he's going to apply for it then.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so then what I'll do is I'll set you for a status for August the 31st at 9:30 to see if the documents have already been submitted and if he's been accepted. And if so, we'll change you to the 1:30 docket if you'll just let Ms. Rivera know.
Yes, Judge. And just for the record, Judge, I'm going to tell Mr. Roberts that on the pretrial diversion, there's certain requirements that the state of Texas requires. If we do not have all those documents, we cannot submit this application to the state, or they won't consider it until all documents are provided. So, okay.
That is correct. So Mr. Roberts, just stay in close contact with your attorney. And that way you can see whether or not you can comply with the packet.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so we'll see you back here on August the 31st at 9:30.
Judge, and then I got number 45 in the criminal docket, Judge.
Okay, Mr. Roberts, you are excused. Okay, you have CR 16-12603-I, the state of Texas versus Jesus Meave.
Your Honor, on this case, Judge, this case was put on the docket, Judge. This individual, Mr. Moave, has a pending, has an eyesight that the court called out. It was a mistake on my office part, Judge. I believe he's a 956 number there. 956 with 4 stars at 738.
Okay, Mr. Meave, are you present?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right. Then at this time, the NISI will be recalled.
Yes. Thank you, Judge. And if there's any associate cases of this court, can we just recall the NISI on those if there's any companion cases?
On Mr. Meave?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
I'll have my staff check if he has any other NISIs on, and we'll go ahead and recall those. And so, Mr. Bustos, what are we gonna do on his?
On this case, Judge, I would respectfully ask for a trial date, Judge.
Okay, so then we'll be ready to give trial dates towards the end of September. So then come back on September the 30th at 9:30, at which time I should be prepared to give you pretrial and trial dates.
Thank you, Judge. You have a good day. May I be excused?
You certainly may. Thank
Happy
you.
afternoon.
Attorney Jessica De Luna?
Yes, Your Honor, good afternoon. First and foremost, my computer's on about 8%, so if it does die, I'll log in to my
talk
phone.
fast.
Yeah, I'm connected. I'm sorry. I'm covering for Marco De Luna. My indication, although I don't have the number on your docket, and I apologize for that, It is Isaias Martinez Munoz, and that's CR 19-05-820-I.
So then we hold it against him for not giving you the number on the docket, right?
Yes, I had to call the staff for the login info, but I didn't get the email or it's a mess, but here we are.
What a big brother. What
I
a
know,
big brother.
I asked
Okay,
him to
that
check in
number-
on something on the case and he sent me the client's number, so.
So that's number 31 on the court's docket. Okay, so I understand that Mr. Munoz at this time is not ready for placement.
Yes, that is correct, Your Honor. I did email Mr. Gonzalez, Daniel Gonzalez with the PTD situation, inquiring in regards to, because he doesn't have a social, if they would still allow for him to be put on PTD or if that would bar him. I had a little confusion as to his response, so I went ahead and re-emailed him. Once we get that cleared out, we already have the PTD ready if we are in fact able to do that.
Okay.
I do foresee
Well-
submitting it sometime this month, Your Honor.
Okay, so then we can do August the 31st at 1:30, and that's assuming everything is cleared and he's ready for placement. If he's
Yes,
not
ma'am.
ready for placement, then just let us know and we can set you for a status and see what you'll be doing after all.
Okay, yes, Your Honor. I
Okay,
believe
and I do
that's-
see your client on, so.
Yes, there he is, yes. So
Okay,
that's all I
anything
have, Your
else?
Honor. No, Your Honor.
Okay,
If I
you
may
made
be
it before,
excused.
you made it before the battery died.
Yes, ma'am. You'll have a
Okay.
good one.
Okay, have a good one. Attorney
Stay safe.
Jose Osuna?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Jose Osuna for the record. We have number 49 on the court's docket, CR 20-09086I, State of Texas versus Gustavo Trevino. Mr. Trevino is present, Your Honor. Please unmute yourself, Mr. Trevino. He's on under his own name. Your Honor, we submitted a PTD application for Mr. Trevino either yesterday or early this morning. We are humbly asking for some time to allow the state to consider it.
Okay, do you want your next hearing to be a status or for placement?
I would defer to Ms. Werenia or Mr. Wynn's opinion, Your Honor, because they may have a better understanding of how long these applications are taking.
Your Honor, I would say a status might be safer. It takes them about 30 days to review an application.
Okay, let's do August the 26th at 9:30.
Yes, Your Honor. I have nothing further. May me and Mr. Trevino be excused?
Before I release you, Mr. Osuna, I just want to make
Yes,
you
sure.
aware from this morning's docket, we didn't have anyone appear from your office on a case that was assigned to you all. And I took an eyesight, but if you want to call us back and let us know if something happened, let me get you that name. Hold on.
Yes, Your Honor.
Did I pass it, Ms. Rivera? Oh, I could have sworn I. Hold on.
I'm sorry, Judge, we had a huge docket. It was,
Oh, yes. On Reynaldo Carvajal.
Yes, Your Honor. I had 2 suppressions set this morning, so rather than jump back and forth, I asked for a reset yesterday before document out. I believe I was given
Oh.
August 5th. Mr. Carvajal has a pending felony.
Yes,
But
and
I can clear that up.
I needed to let you know that we needed to move it to September 30th.
Oh,
Because of
September
the
30th, yes.
pending felony, they were taking a long time right now, so I thought it would just be, I didn't want to make you come when I knew it wasn't going to be ready by that date.
Oh, yes, Your Honor.
So just to let you know, September 30th at 9:30. I misspoke. I thought nobody had appeared, but went back and looked in my notes as well.
Yes, Your
So
Honor.
just to let you know, it was a change of date.
Yes, Your Honor. I appreciate it.
Okay, anything else?
Thank you, Your Honor. No, Your Honor.
Okay. Attorney Jorge Munoz?
Good afternoon, Judge. I have number 22 on the court's docket. Emiliano Flores is present on the Zoom.
Okay,
This case was originally set on the court's plea docket. However, there's a pending felony, Judge, and an assessment's being conducted. I'm asking the court if they can remove it from the plea docket and just set it on a regular status date.
sure. And Mr. Flores, are you present?
I did see his name, Judge. I don't know. Let me see.
Emiliano Flores.
I see his name
Oh, I
there.
do see his name too.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Flores, can you turn your camera on?
I have it on, but yeah, I have it on.
I think your voice is breaking up. You might be in a poor connection. That's fine. Okay, so Mr. Munoz, we can set you for August the 31st at 9:30. Wait, you said he had a pending felony though, right?
That's correct, Judge. The felony's already, it's already in court. They've already run a assessment on him. We're awaiting the results of that, Judge, so we can get this case resolved too.
Do you have a setting on that felony? Not
I
yet?
do, no, Judge.
Okay. Well, then we'll just leave it for August the 31st at 9:30 since you're waiting on the assessment, and then we'll see where he's at that point.
Perfect. That'll work, Judge.
Okay, anything else?
That's all I have this afternoon, Judge. May I be excused, my client as well?
Yes, you may.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay, Attorney Edna Cedillo?
Sorry, Judge, I couldn't unmute it for some reason. It must be the update. I have number 24 on the court's docket.
Yes, that raise your hand feature comes with a cost. Okay, that is CR 1411753-I, the state of Texas versus Jeronimo Garcia. Is Mr. Garcia present?
He's not, Your Honor. With regards to Mr. Garcia, he'd been appearing in court. We got as far as getting an agreement approved. The state has emailed me the plea documents. In trying to get him to come to the office is where we've lost contact, Judge. He was usually very good about staying abreast of his court dates and answering the phones. If he didn't answer, a female would answer even at his job site, Judge, and that has no longer occurred. So I don't know what the status is of Mr. Garcia. He had agreed to the plea offer and was willing to come in and sign, and we've lost contact with him, Judge.
Okay, so was he aware of today's hearing?
Yes, Your Honor, I believe he was aware of, actually, no, Judge. We had a previous setting where it was going to be changed to the afternoon docket because we had a plea. He was aware of that one. It was about 2 weeks ago, so he's not aware of this setting, Judge.
Okay, I'll give you an opportunity to contact him and see if you can send him correspondence. And if it doesn't come back, then I'm just gonna, and if he doesn't show up, I'll have to issue an I-sign.
Yes, Judge, understood.
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and the next plea date that I have, the earliest, is August 26th.
That'd be plenty of time for me to send out notice, Judge.
At 1:30.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, anything else?
No, Your Honor, I have another one, but it's set at 2:30, Judge, so I'll be back.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Attorney Victoria Guerra?
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
I have two gentlemen before you. One is named Crescencio Luis Ruiz. I was going to file a waiver of arraignment on that one, Judge. So if you'll just allow me to do that, I'll be glad to do that. It'll save some time.
Okay, what number was that?
Number 14 on your docket.
Okay, yes, and Mr. Ruiz is in custody right now.
Yes.
Okay, so that's CR 210732-I. Yes, you can file a waiver of arraignment, that's fine.
Very well, Your Honor. And I have also number 15 on your docket, Luis Roberto Rivera Sanchez.
Okay, Mr. Luis Roberto Rivera Sanchez. Deputy, you can bring him
also, Judge.
If you can bring him to the camera.
Judge, and let me just tell the court before. Judge, I have a real hard time communicating with him because he's about 99% deaf. And the only way for me to get him to hear me is talking through the whole. Even then, he doesn't hear me and understand. And so I've just found out that he does not understand sign language, and the only way is, and he doesn't read lips, and so the only way is to talk super loud, and I was, and he still couldn't hear me.
So how are we going to resolve this? Is he in there right now on this matter only?
I believe so, Judge. He's on a DWI, but when I look at his list, there's 4 cases. Maybe the DA has better access to his history than I do, or his pending cases. One of them has an incarceration of verification.
Okay, Ms. Guarenia or Mr. Nguyen?
Judge, I see that he has two felony at intake, one for possession of controlled substance and one for evading with vehicle.
Okay, I wasn't aware those were felonies. Yeah, the felony evading has a $20,000 bond. The DWI has a $100 bond. The possession, I don't know if that one seems to have a cause number attached to it, CR 21-06832G. I'm not sure if this case has already been in the G court, Judge. And then there is a verification of incarceration.
Okay, well, the case before us right now was I have something about motion to reduce bond, but it's already at $1,000.
Yeah, I mean, they're very poor people, Judge. Let me get my bearings about the case, because I was not aware that there's two cases in felony intake. The family cannot afford to pay any money. I will revisit this issue with the court in the near future.
Okay, well then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set it for a status then for August the 26th at 1:30.
Judge, if I may.
Okay,
If
yes.
there's anything new that presents itself, I will contact the court.
Okay, let me see what Mr. Nguyen says.
Judge, I see the order to reduce, the motion and the order to reduce, I think it has the wrong case on it, because I think it listed the possession of controlled substance, and this is a DWI. I mean, I'm just pointing out that.
All right,
Okay.
I'll look at all that, Your Honor. I apologize.
Okay, well, let's set them for status for August 26th at 1:30 so I don't lose them.
Very well. May I be excused?
You certainly may.
Thank you. Have a good
Okay.
afternoon.
Likewise, Attorney Tommy Thompson?
Your Honor.
Good afternoon, Judge. I'm representing number 28, Mr. James Haugen. He is on the participant list numbers 1309 through phone.
Okay, Ms. Rivera, you were gonna say what?
Judge, Ms. Guerra did not announce or request a reset date for number 14. It is a jail case.
I gave up, didn't I?
I didn't hear it. If not, I missed it, and I apologize.
Oh, she said that she was gonna be setting a waiver of arraignment, but we can set him for August the 26th at 1:30. When she submits a waiver of arraignment, just put that on there.
Judge, he has no felonies that are pending or anything of that sort. And no holds.
Wow. See if you can get, somebody can get her back on. I know she looked like she was in a hurry to get off, but.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't want him to be sitting there for that. Okay, I'm sorry, Mr. Thompson. What was your announcement?
Number 28, Mr. Haugen is ready for a plea. And he is on the participant list with the cell phone number 1309 out of Illinois.
Yes, and I'm gonna get to those right now. The ones that are not ready, I'm giving them the reset date so I can clear them off.
Okay, I wasn't sure, Judge. Thank you very much. I'll be at ease. Thank you.
Mr. Aguirre, go ahead.
Sorry.
You're just ready?
Yes, good afternoon, Your Honor. We had number 30 on the court's docket. Mr. Carlos Jimenez, Your Honor, we weren't able to get him notice of the court date on time. We just submitted the plea paperwork, I think on the 6th, and we got the setting pretty quickly. We called him, I called his mom. She wasn't answering either.
Okay, the earliest I have is August the 26th at 1:30.
I'm sorry, the 26th?
August 26th at 1:30. I'm really stacked.
Okay, Your Honor, August 26th at 1:30.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor. May I be excused?
You certainly may.
Y'all have a great day. Go get some lunch.
Miss Arispe, CR 20-7693-I in the state of Texas versus Anthony Hernandez. I do see that Mr. Hernandez is on. What is your announcement, Counselor?
Judge, my client has not had a chance to come sign the paperwork as his vehicle broke down. So we can reschedule, Judge, for the plea. I do have everything from the state.
Okay, August 26th at 1:30 is the earliest I have.
Really, call you.
That would be fine, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
May I be excused, Your Honor?
Certainly may, Mr. Hernandez. We'll see you then. Okay, Mr. Peña, did you have another case?
I had one more case, Your Honor, on your docket. It's Javier Vargas. He should be online from his office.
Mr. Vargas?
Yes, Your Honor.
There he is. Judge, we have plea papers, but I need some time to execute them and get a thumbprint and discuss them with him. Give me one more setting, please.
Okay, what number is this on the court's docket?
37 and 38, Judge.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so CR 1903571-I and CR 1903570-I, State of Texas versus Javier Vargas. Okay, so I'm gonna reset him. The earliest I have is August the 26th at 1:30.
That's fine, Your Honor. May we both be excused then?
You certainly may.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Attorney Lily Gutierrez?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. I have number 8 on the criminal docket. He's a jail case.
Okay, Hugh Garrett Johnson.
No, Your Honor, no, I don't.
Sorry, Jorge Gil Peralta. I apologize. Okay, that's CR 21-05143-I. Okay.
Your Honor.
What is your announcement, Counselor?
Your Honor, my announcement in this case is that I am still waiting on the discovery. We had a hearing last week, I believe, where the court reduced his bond to $2,500 cash surety. I was in contact with his family, informed him of that. However, he's still in custody. I will contact the family again to see if they're going to be able to get him out. But I don't have discovery on this case, so I will need a reset.
Okay, so who's the alleged victim here?
From my understanding, the Sherlene Figueroa is a former romantic partner of Mr. Peralta.
Okay, and does the state know, is she still wanting to pursue the matter?
Judge, we tried numerous attempts to try to reach out to her, but we haven't reached out to her, Judge.
Okay, so she hasn't been responding, Ms. Gutierrez. Do you want to, well, I don't know if the state is open to a bench trial on this. Is this the only thing that's keeping him incarcerated at this time?
Yes,
it is,
Judge.
Your Honor.
And he's already been in there for over 50 days.
Correct, Your Honor, and we would not be opposed to a bench trial.
We provided defense counsel with a recommendation on the 29th of June.
Yes, they have, Your Honor, but since I don't have any discovery, I cannot confirm what my client is saying about the fact that this incident didn't happen.
Okay.
If a defense counsel could submit the 39.14 request, we don't see one on file, that way we can have discovery emailed over. The judge, due to how long he has been incarcerated, the state is not opposed to setting this up for a bench trial since we've tried numerous times to contact the victim.
Okay. Since Ms. Gutierrez also stated that she's not opposed to it as well. I mean, in the meantime, Ms. Gutierrez can get her motion filed and then discovery can be exchanged. But, you know, for something like this, it's, and then I don't even have I don't know if we're able to do it. Ms. Rivera, would I be able to squeeze them in on the July 20th at 11 a.m.?
Yes, Judge, that would be fine.
That's the earliest I can do it, and only because of the severity of I see it as the severity of the situation. So let's come back.
I apologize, Judge. It would be in the afternoon docket. He is in jail.
Oh, yeah, he's in jail. That's right. Let's do it on July the 20th at 1:30 for a bench trial. And hopefully we'll have some resolution at that time.
Very well, Your Honor. And I did file the motion, the 3914, just about an hour ago. So that should be coming to the court, to the prosecutor's desk at some point today.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Your Honor, I apologize. I do have another matter, but it's set for a plea, so I'll be on standby. And that's number 36. Thank you.
Okay. Ms. Guerra, the reason that I had called you back was because we noticed that on your client, Mr. Crescencio Ruiz, he has no holds. He's already been in jail for, I have 8 days. I don't know if there was something that we could do quicker on him.
Well, I would like to talk to the DA's office as to what their offer is. Usually they time serves people like that. So I'll talk to him. If you want to give us maybe a couple of weeks, Judge, or at least 3 weeks, but I'll see what I can do to get this case knocked out as soon as possible.
Okay, Ms. Guarania, do you want for Ms. Guerra to email you for a recommendation, or do you have a recommendation?
Your Honor, this defendant does not have any priors. Since he doesn't have any holds, the state can offer a PR bond for him to be released in the meantime.
Okay, I don't have a problem with that. So what I'll do is I'll issue a $2,000 PR bond on Mr. Ruiz so that he can be released as soon as possible. Now, Mr. Ruiz, does Mr. Ruiz an English speaker?
Yes, ma'am, I'm bilingual.
Okay, Mr. Ruiz, I need for you to contact Guerra as soon as you're released because you do have to sign some paperwork for her.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have a phone number, sir, off the top of your head?
No, but I can issue you my mother's phone number.
Okay, what's that number?
346-233-6964.
846-233.
No, 346, I'm sorry.
346-233-6964.
I'm sorry.
Okay. So just get in touch with her. I am going to reduce your bond to a PR bond, okay?
Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, Ms. Guerra.
Okay.
May I be excused now, Your Honor?
Yes, you may.
Have a good afternoon.
Likewise, okay. Okay, Ms. Diaz. Ms.
Yes,
What,
Judge.
you receive her plea paperwork?
Yes, Your Honor, we're ready to proceed with the plea.
Okay, Mr. Roel Garcia, are you ready to proceed? You're on mute, Mr. Garcia.
Your Honor, my client has a felony and felony intake that has not been indicted yet. So we had a quick announcement. We need a reset date.
Okay, and that's on Jesse Castillo?
Yes, ma'am. Numbers 1, 2, and 39. And he is present.
Okay, Mr. Castillo, can you announce yourself? Mr. Castillo?
He's wearing a white shirt. I guess he's muted. There we go.
Yes, ma'am. This is Jesse Castillo.
Okay, so Mr. Garcia, I do need for you to submit waivers of arraignment on his two possession of marijuana charges.
Yes, Your Honor. We'll follow up on that.
Okay, and so then, so what I'll do is since he has his felonies and intake, then we'll come back on September the 30th at 9:30.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. Anything else?
Nothing further, Your Honor. May we be excused?
You certainly may.
Have a great day.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so I have Ms. Gutierrez ready, Mr. Thompson ready, Ms. Diaz is ready, Mr. Flores, Ricardo Flores.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Good afternoon, everybody.
Okay, are you ready on yours, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Perfect. And is Mr. Rodriguez present?
Yes, Judge, he's present in my office. He should be on the screen somewhere.
Okay. And Ms. Gutierrez, you're ready on Mr. Sierra?
Yes, Your Honor. And he's present.
Okay. Ms. Saldana, what is the recommendation? I don't have it.
Your Honor, I believe Ms. Saldana had to step out for a second. I can provide you with the recommendation if you're ready.
Okay, please.
It is a $300 fine plus court costs, 1 year Hidalgo County Jail, probated for 1 year. The Batters Intervention Program course with Mujeres Unidas, and 30 CSR hours.
Okay. And then, Mr. Capello, are we ready on yours? You're on mute, sir.
I apologize for that, Judge. I have 5, 6, and 7 on the court's docket. He is ready for his bond reduction, Judge.
Okay, that is CR 21-03528-I, CR 20-06986-I, and CR 20-06987-I, the state of Texas versus Hugh Johnson. Okay,
That is correct, Your Honor.
has he
May I
ever,
proceed, Your Honor?
has he ever gotten a device?
Your Honor, I don't believe he has. Your Honor, let me back up. For the court's information, he had a bond reduction on both his felony cases. That would be out of the 370 District Court with the Honorable Judge Noe Gonzalez. That would be CR 0952-21-G. That's a DWI that was reduced from $20,000 to $5,000 cash or surety bond. And he's got a possession of a controlled substance, and CR 1408-21-G that was reduced from $3,000 to $1,500 cash or surety bond. The Honorable Judge Noe Gonzalez on 6/30/21 ordered that he be placed on the VIP program with a condition that he not leave the county. So bonds were reduced in both those cases. Those cases have not been disposed of. We're just waiting for the prosecutor in the 370 to contact the victim to find out if there's any arrest. And he's got these 3 cases before Your Honor today, Judge.
Okay.
The first case, oh, go ahead.
No, and Judge Gonzalez didn't order him to be on a device?
No device, Judge, that I'm aware of. He did order him on AIP though. And with a condition that he not leave the county of Hidalgo.
Okay, and you were going to say, Mr. Capello?
I was going to say, Judge, on the first case, before Your Honor, number 5/21/03/51, I'm sorry, 528-I, he's got a $10,000 cash or surety bond. That's a DWI. At his request and his mother's request, they're asking this honorable court reduce the bond from $10,000 cash or surety to $2,500 cash or surety on 20-06-986-I. That is a possession of a Xanax case. I believe he was found to be in possession of 94 pills as per the police report. His bond on that one is $20,000 cash or surety. They're asking for a $2,500 cash or surety bond on that one, Judge. And on the next case, the 20-06-987-I, his bond is at $20,000 right now. That is a DWI. And he's asking this honorable court for reduction to $2,500 cash or surety, Judge.
Okay, response from the state?
Judge, for the DWI ones, I think we agreed to the 2,500 cash surety bond for each. Well, for all 3 actually, for each, with the condition that the defendant obtain a mobile device.
Okay. The court will grant the defendant's request, and on each of those offenses will reduce the bond to a $2,500 cash surety bond. However, I am ordering that Mr. Johnson obtain a mobile alcohol monitoring device within 48 hours of his release.
That's correct. And I appreciate that, Judge. Also, if we could admonish Mr. Johnson that he keep in contact with me on these cases. He's got 5 criminal cases pending. The first time he was released from jail, I had a real hard time getting a hold of him. I never got a hold of him until his second arrest on these 3 cases, Judge.
Okay, Mr. Johnson, obviously, you know that your freedom is very precious, okay? And so I'm gonna let you know that you need to get in touch with your attorney and keep in close contact with him, because if you don't appear here, I will issue a warrant for your arrest. I am ordering you to obtain a mobile alcohol monitoring device within 48 hours of your release.
What is that?
Your attorney is gonna explain it to you, okay? But do you have a phone number, Mr. Johnson, that you can be reached off the top of your head?
530-798.
Okay, repeat that, please. You went out.
530-798-0693. It's my mom's number.
Okay. So, Mr. Capello, once you're notified that Mr. Johnson is released or makes bond, or he's able, and he contacts you, please see that he contacts Ms. Soto at the probation department.
Yes, Your Honor.
I mean, you can only try. I'm not gonna hold it, if you get a hold of him, you get a hold of him. If you don't, you don't. This is gonna be on him. So, Mr. Johnson, that number has been sent to Ms. Soto. So when you are released, you are to contact Ms. Soto at the probation department, and she's gonna give you a list of vendors for the mobile device.
Okay.
Okay, so you need to make sure that you stay in touch with her.
Your Honor, one other thing, if I may. Standing before Your Honor on the cases on July the 20th, Thursday afternoon at 1:30. Is that date still in effect, Your Honor?
Okay, so these cases were gonna be set for status? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, Your Honor. We have a status setting set for July the 20th in court at 1:30. I'm just asking, are we still having that status hearing on the 20th?
Do you anticipate, or do you know when Mr. Johnson's family is going to postpone for him?
Your Honor, I assume we're gonna do it real soon. His mother's been in close contact with my office.
Okay, and the reason I'm asking is because if he has felonies that are pending at intake, and if he was gonna be out on bond, then I wouldn't hear you on the 20th. I wouldn't hear you until September 30th.
That's fine, Judge. Whatever the court wants to do in this case, I'm just letting the court know that felony intake case has already been indicted. So all cases have been indicted or assigned a CR number.
But do you have a setting on those yet?
Judge, we're set for 8/10/21 on both the felony cases.
Okay, I'm sorry, I missed that. Okay, then come back, instead of the 20th, come back on August the 31st at 9:30 for statuses.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, anything else?
I have no further business before this honorable court, Judge. Will that be at 1:30 in the afternoon?
No, he won't be a jail case anymore, so it'll be at 9:30.
9:30. Thank you very much, Your Honor.
Okay, that'll be all, Mr. Johnson.
May I be excused, Your Honor?
You certainly may.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay, Mr. Wilbur Antonio Gonzalez. Wilbur Antonio Gonzalez.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, sir, the announcement was already made in your case, sir. So you are to return here on, if I can find you real quick. On August the 26th at 1:30, sir.
August 26th at 1:30. Okay.
Yes, and you
Will
are,
do, Your Honor. Thank you, Your Honor. I was kind of waiting on that. Wasn't sure.
yes, sir, August 26th at 1:30.
August 26th at 1:30. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, do I have Attorney Greg Trevino present? No, okay. On number 10 through 12, Ms. Rivera, what new date was given?
Judge, I don't have a new date, Your Honor. I don't have a new date on this defendant, Judge. Let me see if she has any felonies that are pending.
And actually, it's number 10 through 13.
That's correct, and Mr. Ramirez is on those cases as well, Judge. She does have some felonies that are pending, Judge, and I don't believe that they've been indicted.
Okay, well, if we can get a hold of Mr. Ramirez to see if he's staying on those cases or if Mr. Cantu is taking over.
Not a problem, Judge.
Okay, and I have Danielle Purvis. Danielle Purvis, she was gonna be out of I don't think the female section is here.
Judge, I don't believe that we received an email on her. Give me 1 second.
Oh, yes, Judge, this is the one I had submitted an order of release on.
Okay.
Yes, it was signed yesterday, Your Honor.
And when, do we have a status date for her?
Yes, Your Honor, it's set for arraignment on August the 19th, but going over, Judge, I'm realizing that I don't believe the clerks have processed it yet.
Okay. Okay, and number 16, she's the one out in Jim Hog, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Did we give it a new date?
She has pending felonies, Your Honor, so whatever date you'd like to give out in August or further is fine, Judge.
Okay, we can stay with the September 30th.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so James Haugen, can you hear me?
Judge Tommy Thompson for Mr. Haugen. He still has indicated mute on his phone. So
Okay. Now, Mr. Osuna, Jesse Osuna, are you still being represented by Attorney Alfredo Morales?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your-
I'm here, Judge.
Okay, are you ready, Mr. Morales?
Yes, Your Honor, we're ready.
Okay. And Mr. Arturo Rodriguez, can you hear me? Mr. Arturo Rodriguez.
Your Honor, this is James Haugen.
Yes, sir. We're just about to get started. So if you'll just listen very closely. Mr. Flores, Ricardo Flores, is your client English speaking or Spanish speaking?
Your Honor, he will require the service of an interpreter.
Oh, okay, your staff's already helping him unmute.
Oh, my Lord.
You should be there, Rick. Should be good.
Yes, okay. Señor Rodríguez, ¿me escucha?
Sí.
Ok, ahorita vamos a comenzar. Necesito que por favor ponga atención y que hable con voz alta, ¿ok?
Sí.
Okay, Alexis Sierra, are you present? Alexis Sierra.
You're present.
Okay, sir, I need for you to please keep your camera on and please listen.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, what happened with number 40 through 44? I have public defender's office on that.
Judge, I'll double check. I don't believe I have anything, but I'll be in contact with Mr. Osuna.
If I remember correctly, this is the one that the defendant no longer wanted to be represented with the public defender's office.
Okay, that's right. He was going to retain an attorney. He was given today's date. Do I have Jorge Martinez present? Okay, we'll get him to the end of the docket and take a nice night. Okay, we're ready. Okay, Ms. Castañeda, are you ready to translate? We do have one Spanish speaker. That is Mr. Rodriguez. Okay, so Mr. Haugen, Mr. Osuna, Mr. Rodriguez, Mr. Sierra, all of you, please raise your right hand.
Mr. Rodríguez, por favor, levante su mano derecha.
Do you swear that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Mr. Haugen?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Osuna?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Rodriguez?
Mr. Rodríguez, ¿jura que el testimonio que está a punto de dar es la verdad, toda la verdad y nada más que la verdad?
Sí.
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Sierra?
You're on mute.
No, sir. Make sure you stay off of mute.
And Your Honor, are you including Miss Maria Garza as well?
Oh, thank you for that. There she is. Okay, Mr. Sierra, do you swear that the testimony that you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Ms. Castañeda, please translate for Maria Isabel Garza.
Ms. Garza, ¿jura que el testimonio que va a dar esto es la verdad, toda la verdad y nada más que la verdad?
Sí.
Yes.
Okay, all of you may lower your hand.
¿Pueden bajar su mano?
In cause number CR 2104339-I, the state of Texas versus Maria Isabel Garza. Is that your true and correct name, ma'am?
María Isabel
Yes,
Garza,
Your Honor.
¿es su nombre correcto y verdadero?
Sí.
Yes.
In CR 1901389-I, the state of Texas versus James Alvin Haugen. Is that your true and correct name, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
In CR 2011690-I, the state of Texas versus Jesse Osuna. Is that your true and correct name, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
In CR 2008301-I, the state of Texas versus Arturo Pesina Rodriguez. Is that your true and correct name, sir?
Arturo Pesina Rodríguez, ¿ese es su nombre correcto y verdadero?
Sí, señora.
Yes, ma'am.
In CR 2008759-I, the state of Texas versus Alexis Uresti Sierra. Is that your true and correct name, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. You are Ms. Maria Isabel Garza. You're before the court charged with theft of property of greater than $100, less than $750, a Class B misdemeanor. Mr. James Alvin Haugen, you are before the court for the charge of driving while intoxicated, a second offense, a Class A misdemeanor. Mr. Jesse Osuna, you're before the court charged with driving while intoxicated, a Class B misdemeanor. Mr. Arturo Pesina Rodriguez, you are before the court charged with driving while intoxicated, a Class B misdemeanor. Ms. Castañeda?
Your Honor, can I go back and repeat for Ms. Isabel Garza?
Okay, let's do Mr. Rodriguez and I'll go back.
Arturo Pesina Rodríguez, está usted frente a la corte con un cargo de manejar bajo intoxicación, un delito menor clasificado clase B.
Okay, you can translate for Ms. Garza.
María Isabel Garza, está usted frente a la corte por un cargo de robo de propiedad de más de $100 y menos de 750, una ofensa menor clase B.
Okay, and Mr. Alexis Uresti Sierra, you are before the court for the offense of assault causing bodily injury on a family member, a Class A misdemeanor. For those defendants with a Class B misdemeanor, a Class B misdemeanor carries a potential penalty of up to 6 months in Hidalgo County Jail and up to a $2,000 fine upon conviction. For those defendants with a Class A misdemeanor, a Class A misdemeanor carries a potential penalty for up to 1 year in Hidalgo County Jail and up to a $4,000 fine upon conviction. Ms. Castañeda, can you please translate for Ms. Garza and Ms. Rodriguez the range of punishment for a Class B misdemeanor?
Ms. Garza y Mr. Rodríguez, una ofensa menor clase B tiene una multa potencial de hasta 6 meses en la cárcel del condado de Hidalgo y una multa de hasta $2,000 por convicción.
The following response to the question will either be yes or no. Do each of you understand the range of punishment that you can receive for the offense of which you are charged? Ms. Garza.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, either Ms. Garza is going to be speaking in English or in Spanish. So Ms. Garza, do you want to be in English or in Spanish?
English is fine.
Okay, then, Mr. Hagan, do you understand the range of punishment for a Class A misdemeanor, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Osuna, yes or no?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, Ms. Castañeda, can you please translate for Mr. Rodriguez?
Mr. Rodríguez, ¿entiende usted el rango de castigo que puede recibir por el delito que está acusado?
Sí, señora.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Mr. Sierra?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All of you have the right to an attorney and the right to a trial by jury. You can waive one or both of those rights by signing a written document with this court. At this time, I will ask each of you, did you have an opportunity to review the document with your attorney before signing it? Ms. Garza,
Yes, I did, Your Honor.
Mr. Hagan,
Yes, I did.
Mr. Osuna.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Ms. Castañeda, can you please ask Mr. Rodriguez?
Mr. Rodríguez, usted tiene el derecho de un abogado y el derecho para un juicio por jurado, pero puede renunciar a uno o a dos de sus derechos o a los dos derechos firmando un documento con esta corte. ¿Tuvo usted una oportunidad de revisar esos documentos con su abogado antes de firmar?
Sí, señora.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and Mr. Sierra.
That's correct.
Do each of you understand that when you signed that document that you were waiving your right to a trial by jury? Ms. Garza,
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Hagan,
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Osuna,
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Sierra.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and translate for Mr. Rodriguez?
Mr. Rodríguez, ¿entiende usted que cuando firmó esos documentos que está usted renunciando a su derecho por un juicio por jurado?
Sí, señora.
Yes, ma'am.
The court will accept your waivers of trial by jury. Has any court ever declared any of you to be mentally incompetent, crazy, or insane? Yes or no? Ms. Garza,
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Hagan,
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Osuna,
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Sierra.
No, ma'am.
Okay, Ms. Castañeda to Mr. Rodriguez.
Mr. Rodríguez, ¿alguna corte alguna vez lo ha declarado mentalmente incompetente, loco o demente?
No, señora.
No, ma'am.
Okay, counselors, in speaking with your clients, do you find them to be mentally competent and able to assist you in their own defense? Ms. Diaz,
Yes, I do, Your Honor. It's to Ms. Garza.
Mr. Thompson,
As in Mr. Haugen, I believe he's competent, Your Honor.
Mr. Morales,
Mr. Osuna is competent, Judge.
Mr. Flores.
Your Honor, Mr. Vecino Rodriguez is competent.
Okay, Ms. Gutierrez.
Mr. Sierra is competent, Your Honor.
Then the court will make a finding that all of the defendants before the court are all mentally competent and able to assist their attorneys in their own defense. Do each of you understand that if the punishment that I assess does not exceed what's recommended by the state, you will need this court's permission if you decide to file an appeal? Do you understand that? Yes or no, Ms. Garza?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Osuna,
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Hagan,
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Sierra,
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Castañeda, please ask Mr. Rodriguez in Spanish.
Mr. Rodríguez, ¿entiende usted que si el castigo que voy a evaluar, si el castigo no excede la recomendación del Estado, usted va a necesitar el permiso de esta corte si usted decide presentar una apelación? ¿Sí entendió eso?
Sí, señora.
Yes, ma'am.
Do each of you further understand that the court does not have to accept the recommendation of the state? Do you understand that? Yes or no, Ms. Garza?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Hagan,
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Osuna,
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Sierra,
Yes, Your Honor.
and for Mr. Rodriguez, Ms.
Mr.
Castañeda?
Rodríguez, también entiende que la corte no tiene que aceptar la recomendación del Estado. ¿Entiende usted eso?
Sí, señora.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, at this time, I need to ask you if you are a U.S. citizen. Ms. Garza, yes or no?
Yes, Your Honor. U.S. citizen.
Mr. Hagan, yes or no?
Yes.
Mr. Osuna,
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Sierra,
Yes, ma'am.
and Ms. Castañeda, please ask Mr. Rodriguez.
Mr. Rodríguez, ¿es usted ciudadano americano?
No, señora.
I didn't hear you, Your Honor.
Okay, please ask him again.
Mr. Rodríguez, ¿es usted ciudadano americano?
No, señora.
No, ma'am.
Okay, if you're not a U.S. citizen, then entering a plea or a no contest will result in your deportation, exclusion, or admission from our country and denial of naturalization under federal law.
Si no es ciudadano americano, entonces esta petición va a resultar en su deportación, expulsión de este país y negación de la naturalización.
Do you understand the consequences of your plea today?
¿Entiende usted las consecuencias de su petición?
Sí, señora.
Yes, ma'am.
Knowing and understanding the consequences of your plea and to your immigration status, do you still want to proceed today?
Sabiendo y entendiendo las consecuencias de su petición, ¿quiere proceder a hoy?
Sí, señora.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. In CR 2104-339-I in the state of Texas, Maria Isabel Garza to the offense of theft of property of greater than $100 of less than $750, a Class B misdemeanor, ma'am. How do you plead, guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
In CR 1901389-I in the state of Texas versus James Alvin Haugen to the offense of driving while intoxicated, a second offense, a Class A misdemeanor. How do you plead, sir? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
In CR 20-01690-I in the state of Texas versus Jesse Osuna to the offense of driving while intoxicated, a Class B misdemeanor, sir. How do you plead, guilty or not guilty?
Guilty, ma'am.
In CR 20-08759-I in the state of Texas versus Alexis Oresti Sierra to the offense of assault causing bodily injury on a family member, a Class A misdemeanor, sir. How do you plead, guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
In CR 20-08301-I in the state of Texas versus Arturo Pesina Rodriguez to the offense of driving while intoxicated, a Class B misdemeanor. How do you plead, sir? Guilty or not guilty?
En el caso del estado de Texas, en contra Arturo Pesina Rodríguez por el cargo de manejar en estado de ebriedad, ¿cómo se declara? ¿Culpable o no culpable?
Culpable, señora.
Guilty, ma'am.
Are all of you all pleading guilty freely and voluntarily? Yes or no, Ms. Garza? Ms. Garza, are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Hagan, yes or no?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Osuna,
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Sierra.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Ms. Castañeda, please ask Mr. Rodriguez.
Mr. Rodríguez, ¿se está usted declarando culpable libre y voluntariamente?
Sí, señora.
Yes, ma'am.
Then the court will make a finding that each of you entered your plea of guilty freely and voluntarily and accept your pleas as well. I will call for state's evidence at this time.
State offers two documents and offers report to State Exhibit 1, notification, certification, and defendant's right of appeal as State Exhibit 2, waiver of 39.14 disclosure as State Exhibit 3, and waiver of risk and needs assessments as State Exhibit 4. Regarding Mr. Arturo Rodriguez, state offers the PTP package State Exhibit 5. State would also request defense counsel stipulate to the venue and jurisdiction of this honorable court. State would also request that defense counsel stipulate to the fact that all evidence that has been e-filed is sufficient evidence to corroborate the plea of guilty.
Any objections, Ms. Diaz?
No objections, Your Honor. So agreed and stipulated.
Mr. Thompson?
No objection, Your Honor. Having previously reviewed the documents, we have no objection and we stipulate.
Mr. Morales?
Same announcement for Mr. Osuna, Your Honor.
Mr. Flores?
No objection, so agreed, stipulated to venue jurisdiction, Judge.
Ms. Gutierrez?
Your Honor, same announcement as to Mr. Sierra.
Okay, then there being no objections from defense counsel as to the exhibits are hereby admitted and approved. Okay. Now, each of you, just so that the defendants know what is occurring, next is going to be the sentencing phase, okay? So once I'm going to take each of you one by one on the offenses of which you are charged and ask for the state's recommendation. Your attorneys will ask for any requests or considerations on your behalf. Once we are finished and we get all the information, since we will be going one by one, then the attorney and their client are excused, okay? So in cause number CR 21-04339-I in the state of Texas versus Maria Isabel Garza, it is the judgment of the court, ma'am, that you are guilty as charged. What is the state's recommendation?
State recommends a $200 fine plus court costs, 6 months deferred, a theft course, and 20 hours of community service.
Okay, any questions or requests on behalf of your client, Ms. Diaz?
Yes, there are, Your Honor. I would like to let the court know that my client was offered the PTD program. Unfortunately, Judge, she was not able to afford the $500 for the program. So after careful discussion with her, she accepted this. My client is indigent, Judge. She does not work. She also has a physical disability, and therefore it would be very difficult, Judge, quite honestly, for her to even cover the $200 that the state is requesting on the fine. We'd ask the court to waive the fine and, if possible, the court costs based on her indigency.
Okay, the court will waive the fine and the court costs, and I will further waive the 20 CSR hours, and the rest of the recommendation I will follow.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, best wishes to you, Ms. Garza.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, in PR 1901389-I in the state of Texas versus James Alvin Haugen, to the offense of driving while intoxicated, a second offense, a class A misdemeanor, sir. It is the judgment of the court that you are guilty as charged. What is the state's recommendation?
State recommends a $100 fine plus court costs, 1 year Hidalgo County Jail, probated for 1 year. The alcohol course, the interlock device, 90 days Texas driver's license suspension, 72 hours Hidalgo County Jail, and 20 hours of community service.
Okay, Mr. Thompson, any questions or requests on behalf of your client?
Yes, Judge. Mr. Haugen lives in Illinois. We're asking, and he previously had the interlock device that was relieved of that responsibility by the court prior to being transferred to this court. We're asking that the court not impose the interlock device based upon his satisfaction of the condition prior to this hearing. This is a 2019 case, and he received it at the very beginning. Additionally, Judge, the 90-day driver's license suspension he had his driver's license suspended, being the second DWI. We're asking that the court waive that because it's already been met. And lastly, the 20 hours of community service restitution. Mr. Haugen lives in Illinois. I don't even know how you would transfer that. He does have to do 72 hours in jail, which cannot be waived. And we're asking that when he returns from Illinois on his annual visit, that he be allowed to do it at that point in time, schedule the incarceration at that point in time.
Okay, so the Texas driver's license suspension, he already had that?
Yes, ma'am, when he originally was arrested.
So then you're asking for that to have run, to be considered
as the suspension. Yes, ma'am.
As a suspension. So he already has it reinstated.
That's correct.
Okay. Now, the previous court had removed him from the interlock device?
That's my understanding, Judge, based on Mr. Haugen's informing me of saying. You can ask him if it's the truth.
Ms. Guarenia, do you show anything like that? What do you show with respect to the interlock device, ma'am?
I do see an interlock removal order, Your Honor, from 2019, but as a condition of probation, the device is required at least for 50% of the time of the supervisory period. So the interlock device would just be for 6 months.
That's my understanding as well, Mr. Thompson. As the condition of the probation, it has to be on at least for 50% of the time. And
Okay,
then,
so that'll be a 6-month period then, Judge?
yes, sir. That'll be a 6-month period.
Now, how does he comply with that being that he's in Illinois?
Well,
How do they monitor that?
I'm gonna get his phone number, and Miss Soto has a nationwide provider that is available. So, and as far as if he's already had his driver's license suspended previously, then I'll allow that. And
Yes,
it
ma'am.
won't be suspended again. I'll give him 90 days to pay the fine and 90 days to pay the court costs, and I'll waive his 20 CSR hours.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay. So
And as to the 72 hours, Judge, he'll be able to, who does he need to
Yeah.
contact in order to schedule that when he gets back?
he can do that at any point during his 1-year probation period.
Okay, great.
And I think, Ms. Soto, you were going to say?
Yes, Judge. When does he come back to this county, Judge? In the meantime, will you allow him to report by mail?
Yes, I will allow him to report by mail because he's a Winter Texan visitor, is my understanding.
That's correct, Your Honor.
So as long as he's at his primary residence, I'll allow him to report by mail. And if he's here in person, he can report in person.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
Okay, and what is your phone number, Mr. Hagan?
Yes, my phone number is area code 309-453-9672.
Okay, that was 309-453-9672.
Correct, Your Honor.
Okay. So you will be, Ms. Soto, will you be able to contact him, ma'am?
Yes, Judge. I will call him after court today, Judge.
Okay, and Mr. Hagan, she's gonna contact you so that she can give you information on a nationwide provider.
Okay, Your Honor.
Okay, anything else, Mr. Thompson?
And that's all we have, Judge.
Okay, then the rest of the recommendation I will follow. And best of luck to you, Mr. Hagan.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay, you both may be excused.
Thank you, Judge. You have a good day.
Likewise.
Bye-bye.
NC 20-01690-I, the state of Texas versus Jesse Osuna for the offense of driving while intoxicated, a class B misdemeanor. It is the judgment of the court, sir, that you are guilty as charged. And what is the state's recommendation?
It recommends a $200 fine plus court costs, 1 year deferred, the alcohol course, the mobile monitoring device for 1 year, the 90 days Texas driver's license suspension, and 20 hours of community service.
Okay, and Mr. Morales, any questions or requests on behalf of your client?
I do have some requests, Your Honor. First of all, with respect to the community service hours, we're requesting that the court consider reducing them from 20 to 10. With respect to the alcohol monitoring device, Your Honor, we're asking the court to consider waiving the requirement under E-2 of the code. I understand that this is a deferred case and the legislature amended the statute to include for first-time offenders the requirement of the interlock or alcohol monitoring device. However, there is a provision there for a waiver if he would have submitted to an alcohol evaluation. We were prepared to do that. The ADA informed me that there was no such program. I confirmed that with the probation department. So I don't think he should be penalized for that, Your Honor. So we would ask that the court consider a waiver under that provision or under provision F, which also allows the court to waive in the interest of justice. There's a case that's cited in the book. It's State versus Lucero, 979 Southwest 2nd, 400, Amarillo Court of Appeals, 1998, which interprets section F, but it has similar language to E2, the new section. And so we would ask that the court consider waiving the interlock or alcohol monitoring device on the basis of the best interest of justice, and also that there is no, it's not necessary for the safety of the community. With respect to the driver's license suspension, Your Honor, I understand that under the transportation code, it says that upon conviction, the driver's license is automatically suspended. However, as the court knows, this is a deferred case under the rules of statutory construction. Final conviction, this is not a final conviction. The plea of guilty is going to be suspended, be placed on deferred adjudication. Therefore, there is no final conviction in this instance. And I would ask that the court consider not suspending his driver's license, again, because it's not a final conviction. And we also would ask the court to take into consideration the fact that we prevailed at the administrative hearing before the DPS in this instance. Those are my requests, Your Honor.
Okay, Ms. Wedenya, on this, does the same apply for the mobile? Isn't it part of your probation requirements?
For the deferred, Your Honor, it is statutorily only mandated for half of the time. It is our office policy to recommend for the full term, but it is to your discretion if you wish to dock it down for half the term.
Okay, but I understood it's my discretion to do half. I didn't, as far as your, but I understood that these offers stand, like that they had to have the mobile monitoring device. The only thing that I could do was just modify the time period. Can you clarify that?
Yes, Your Honor, that's correct. That's how I understand it as well.
Because I understand, Mr. Morales, the way I understand it is that as part of the probation part of it, he would have to have it, but he only has to have it for half the time.
And I understand the state's policy or the ADA's policy, Your Honor, but my position is that state statute would trump any policy the DA has, and that's why I specifically refer to the code. But I'll leave it to the discretion.
No, I understand that. What I'm saying is that I think their offers are only given under the impression that they will be accepting the mobile monitoring device, whether it be for half the time or the full time that they are offering. I don't know if that makes sense. Like, in other words, if they don't want the mobile alcohol monitoring device, it doesn't necessarily, it may mean that they wouldn't even have given them that plea deal. That's the way I understood it. I don't know, Ms. Wedenya, is that kind of what I'm getting?
Yes, Your Honor, that's correct. I'm trying to verify regarding to the rest of the code so I could give you more clarification on that. If this case can just be recalled very shortly, that way I can give you a more definitive response to that.
Because I know what Mr. Morales is saying as to the statute. It's his first arrest, it's a class B, and so I know that I have discretion under the statute, but I had understood that because the way that the pleas, you all do the pleas. But I mean, just be on standby, Mr. Morales. It'll either be half or waived.
I will,
So just wait shortly. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so Mr. Sierra, in CR 2008759-I, the state of Texas versus Alexis Uresti Sierra. It is a judgment of the court, sir, that you are guilty as charged. What's the state's recommendation?
Your Honor, the state recommends on behalf of ADA Rebecca Saldana, it's a $300 fine plus court costs, 1 year Hidalgo County Jail, probated for 1 year, the Batterers Intervention Program course with Mujeres Unidas, and 30 hours of community service.
Okay, Ms. Gutierrez, any questions or requests on behalf of your client?
Yes, Your Honor. So Mr. Sierra, after this incident, CPS got involved and they did send him to anger management classes. We provided proof to the state that he attended challenges and change counseling, and we're asking for some consideration with respect to the Batterers Intervention Program by Mujeres Unidas, because I understand that that's a really lengthy program. So any consideration that we can get on that would help Mr. Uresti continue his employment and not have to try to fit in all these classes.
Okay, Mr. Sierra, are you are you employed full-time?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So challenges and change doesn't necessarily cover the same topics that the Battered Intervention Program courses do. So it's a different, for lack of a better word, curriculum. So that's why if it would be covering the same topics or what have you, perhaps I would consider giving him credit for that course, but it's different. So he's gonna still do the Battered Intervention Program. However, where I can assist you is because he is employed full-time, I'll go ahead and waive his 30 CSR hours. So he won't have to do those 30 CSR hours, and I'll give him 90 days to pay the fine and 90 days to pay the court costs. And the rest of the recommendation I'll follow.
Thank you, Your Honor. And you were cutting off, so just so that I can to be clear, you waived the 30 CS hours and community service hours, and then you're giving him 90 days to pay the $300 fine and the court costs.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay.
We have nothing further before this honorable court. May we be excused?
I just need a phone number for Mr. Sierra.
It's 956-617-4665.
Okay. Best of luck to you, Mr. Sierra.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. In CR 20-08301-I in the state of Texas versus Arturo Pesina Rodriguez. It is a judgment of the court, sir, that you are guilty as charged. Ms. Castañeda?
Mr. Arturo Pesina Rodríguez es, la sentencia de la corte es que es culpable de los cargos presentes.
However, you're asking to be placed on the pretrial diversion program.
¿Está usted pidiendo que lo pongan en el programa del desvío previo al juicio?
Sí, señora.
The pretrial diversion program is a contract that you're entering into with the state of Texas.
El programa del desvío al juicio es un contrato que usted va a entrar con el estado de Texas.
Sí, señora.
Yes, ma'am.
If you're agreeing to comply with certain conditions, and in exchange, the state is agreeing to dismiss the charges against you if you successfully complete the program.
Este es un contrato donde usted está de acuerdo a cumplir con ciertas condiciones del programa del desvío al juicio. A cambio, el Estado está de acuerdo de desestimar los cargos en su contra si usted logra completar con éxito el programa.
Sí, señora.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand the terms and conditions of the program as were explained to you by your attorney?
¿Entiende usted los términos y condiciones del programa a como se los explicó su abogado?
Sí, señora.
Yes, ma'am.
Is there anything on there that you cannot comply with?
¿Existe algún término o condición en el programa en que usted realmente no puede cumplir?
No, señora.
No, ma'am.
Okay, Mr. Flores, do you have any questions or requests on behalf of your client?
No, Your Honor, actually, the state has offered a pretty good deal in this situation and placing them in, we're agreeing to place them in the pretrial diversion program, and we have no request on the behalf of Mr. Rodriguez.
Okay, then the court will place Mr. Rodriguez on the pretrial diversion program with a reset date to have you come back at the completion for July 5th.
It is 2022.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's July 5th, right? 2022?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. July 5th, 2022. Unless the county gives us that holiday, then Mr. Flores will reset you. Okay.
I don't even know what day it lands on this, but I'm looking forward to that.
It'll be July 5th, 2022 at 9:30 a.m.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so Ms. Castañeda, please get a phone number for Mr. Rodriguez.
Mr. Rodríguez, ¿me puede dar su número de teléfono?
El área 956-650-1257.
956-650-1257.
Sí, señora.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, have him return here as of now on July 5th, 2022 at 9:30 a.m.
Yes, Your Honor. Hopefully we'll be in person by that time.
I'm sure. I'm being very optimistic.
Judge, you have a great weekend and have a good lunch after you finish up here in a little bit. May we be excused?
Yes, thank you.
Because it's good seeing you again.
Likewise. Okay, Ms. Guareña, did you get an answer?
Yes, Your Honor, I've confirmed with my colleagues in the office. Our understanding of the statute is that it's not possible for the device to be waived. It can be reduced to half the time of the supervisory period.
Okay, so let me recall CR 20-01690-I in the state of Texas versus Jesse Osuna. Mr. Morales, did Mr. Osuna already have his driver's license suspended?
No, Judge, we prevailed at the ALR hearing, so he has not had his driver's license suspended.
Okay, Ms. Guarenya, and I understand I have the discretion on that part of it as well, but correct me if you understand that differently.
Judge,
That's my understanding.
I'm sorry?
from what I understand, the driver license, the administrative suspension has no bearing on our suspension.
I didn't say that. I just said we had prevailed at the ALR hearing.
I know you.
In other words, then they prevailed at the ALR hearing, that's why they didn't suspend his license.
That's correct, Judge.
And usually attorneys will use that to see what kind of evidence they have against the defendant. And that's where we get to see, well, I'm not on that side anymore, but that's where attorneys get to see how the officer is and what's the evidence, how the police report was done and all of that stuff. So there's a decision there, and I'll be honest, it's harder there. Sometimes it's harder there to have someone rule in favor of the defendant. It's very rare. So the way I understand it is I have a discretion on that part of the plea. But Ms. Guarenya, can you
this issue had been staffed with Melissa Lozano, and she had informed us that it did not have any bearing on the suspension. So our office's position is that it does not, but we leave to the discretion of the court.
Okay. So what, Mr. Osuna, do you currently work full-time?
Yes, Your Honor. Actually, this past March, I went ahead and successfully passed my my nursing boards, so I became a registered nurse. Currently, I am working as a emergency room nurse at a trauma 2 level center, ma'am. I do work nights, ma'am. And I recently graduated this past December as well from nursing school. So ever since then, I became independent on my own. And I do work night shifts as well, ma'am. I work 12-hour shifts. Work 6 days every 2 weeks, and I am put on call one day that I have to report. No matter what, if I'm called upon. So I do have a very complicated schedule. And to that, I do ask for you to take my case into consideration, and it'd be a privilege, to be able to retain my license. Just the fact that I do work nights and I have a complicated schedule, and not everybody has a type of schedule.
Let me stop you there. So yes, you do work full time.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we'll stop right there. Okay, look. So as to his 20 CSR hours, I'm going to waive that. I'm going to give him 90 days to pay his fines and 90 days to pay his court costs. His mobile monitoring device, he will have for half the time, so he will have it for 6 months. I'm not going to suspend his driver's license. And the rest of the information I will follow.
Thank you for your consideration, Your Honor.
Okay, anything else?
Not from the defense, Your Honor.
Okay. Okay, best of luck to you, Mr. Osuna.
Thank you very much, Your Honor.
I have nothing further with the court. May I be excused, Judge?
Certainly may.
Thank you.
Okay, let me go back on the docket. Number 3, was that supposed to be on here?
Yes, Your Honor, the respondent, I believe.
Oh, he's in jail, right?
The petitioner, I apologize. Yes, Judge, Mr. Alvarez did file Rule 11 without the respondent's signature or the attorney of the respondent on an order resetting, Judge. And so I'm not sure.
Well, I don't see Maria Delgado on, nor do I see Mr. Rodriguez on. So is that Francisco Perez?
You're on mute.
You're on mute, sir.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So Mr. Pettis's attorney has filed for this case to be reset, and we do not have Ms. Delgado on nor her attorney. So we're gonna go ahead and give them another setting. And I'm not sure, what is Mr. Pettis in there for?
Judge, if you can give me.
I don't have his. Mr. Pettis. Speak English or Spanish?
Español.
Okay, Ms. Castaneda, can you ask him what the charges that he has?
Mr. Pérez, ¿qué son los cargos que tiene? ¿Por qué está usted allí?
Pues supuestamente, ella me puso un cargo que había violado a mi hija, pero no hay nada.
Supposedly she put a charge against me.
Judge, if he could provide me his date of birth, I can go ahead and look it up quickly.
Actually, what he said was that she had put a charge against him for child abuse of the daughter. So, ask him for his date of birth.
¿Qué es su fecha de nacimiento, Mr. Pérez?
Es 10-04-80.
10/4/1980.
It's because I need to know how long he's probably going to be in there in order to give him a good reset date.
Judge, it's continuous sexual abuse of a child. He has a jury trial set for September the 13th.
Oh, okay. He's not going to be getting out anytime soon. So, okay, then we'll go ahead and reset him to August the 26th at 1:30. Okay, tell him that he's excused.
Mr. Pérez ya se puede retirar.
Okay.
Okay, and how about for number 4 on the court's docket, Santonino Amador?
I'm sorry, Your Honor. I had one last question.
You'll have to wait. So now I've already moved on, so one moment. Okay, Miss Santonino Amador, what do we have, Miss Rivera?
Judge, I don't have any reset date. I do know that he has a pending felony.
Okay.
Actually, give me 1 second. I just saw the case note, Judge, and I had misread it. Let me just double check. I apologize for cutting you off.
Okay, does Mr. Amador speak English or Spanish?
Español.
Okay, un momento.
Judge, he has a fugitive warrant, but Mr. Trevino did not make any contact with us. I do have.
Can you please ask Mr. Amador if his attorney is still Gregorio Treviño?
Mr. Amador, ¿su abogado todavía es el señor Gregorio Treviño?
Sí, están de
Yes, up until I know.
Okay. Let's see if we can contact Mr. Treviño to see if he's going to make an announcement on this case, but he's the last jail case that they're waiting for. Tell Mr. Amador that we're going to try to contact his attorney for him to just be on standby.
Mr. Amador, vamos a tratar de hacer contacto con su abogado.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, Mr. Osuna, what was your question?
Yes, Your Honor. I wanted to ask, who do I contact in regards to the monitor device? Or is somebody going to contact me in regards to that?
Yes, Ms. Soto's been tied up on docket all day and we're still not done. So that's why did we get your phone number?
No, ma'am. That's why I was returning.
Okay, I'm sorry. What is your phone number?
Yes, ma'am. My phone number is 956 888 0970.
Okay, she'll contact you as soon as she can after we get out of the docket.
Okay, I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, so from the female unit, who do you have with you, ma'am?
Yes, we still have Danielle
Purvis and Lluvia Regalado.
Okay, so Ms. Purvis, they had requested a reset date for her, and that was August the 19th at 9:30. And Ms. Regalado's attorney was unable to get on the Zoom because he was traveling on a case, and that's being reset to, what date are we giving Ms. Regalado, Ms. Rivera?
Judge, whatever date you're comfortable with, I do know and understand she does have some felonies that are pending.
Okay, then we're gonna bring her back on August the 26th at 1:30.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. You have a good day.
Your Honor,
Yes.
I spoke to my lawyer, and my lawyer told me that I was supposed to be released on a PR bond.
Which lawyer was that?
Julian Rodriguez.
Judge, that's on number 9, and that's the case, Judge, that the clerks had not processed that order release that was signed yesterday. As soon as we're done, we'll be processing it, or I'll be in contact with the clerks to urge them to process it.
Okay. Okay, Ms. Purvis. So the clerk's office is delayed in processing the orders of release. So hopefully that'll get done sometime today. But I did sign it yesterday.
So that means I will be released?
Hopefully at some point today, yes. You will be released. I just cannot tell you confidently at what time.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
Okay.
Thank you, that's all we have.
Okay, no problem. Okay, so let me make sure that, did we call all the cases from this afternoon before I move on to this morning's admonishments?
That's correct, Your Honor. For the exception of 40 through 44, Your Honor, the defendant did not appear.
Okay, and we will call a nice eye on them at the end.
I believe that Mr. Damien did call Mr. Greg Trevino, Judge, and we did not get an answer. I called him for my personal cell as well.
Okay. And I'm, okay. Okay, well, I don't want to hold the deputy up, so, on Santonino Amador, well, the thing is that I wouldn't be able to bring him back here until August the 26th at 1:30.
Judge, I just spoke with Mr. Trevino's office. He's going to be logging on.
Okay, then his attorney's coming on, deputy.
Yes, Your Honor, thank you.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Osorio and Ms. Cedillo, I appreciate your patience.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay, give me one moment. Mr. Osorio, your client, was she logging in?
Yes, good afternoon, Your Honor. Well, Your Honor, I've been on since 2:30 and she has not logged in, Your Honor. I've communicated with my staff. They've tried calling her and she's not answering, Your Honor. She was provided the link for this afternoon, Your Honor. I did speak with her after this morning's hearing, after I logged off, Judge. And, well, what can I say, Your Honor? I did the best I could to get her to understand what she needed to do and the consequences of not doing so. So I think, you know, the state's gonna ask what they're gonna ask for and the court's gonna do what it needs to do. And I completely understand, Judge.
Okay. So, and you know, the thing is that your hands are gonna be tied with the actions of your client. So that's it. So
Yes,
let me
Your
go
Honor.
ahead and recall CR 18-06526-I, the state of Texas versus Michelle Rodriguez. Mr. Damien, can you call out Ms. Rodriguez's name 3 times?
Yes, ma'am. Michelle Rodriguez. Michelle Rodriguez. Michelle Rodriguez.
The defendant's name being called out 3 times and no response. What says the state?
State request that judgment after be granted, a keeper's issue and all with no show defendants.
Okay, that'll be granted. Mr. Osorio, go ahead and let her know if she still communicates with you that a nice eye has been granted because if she did not show, which
Yes,
means
Your Honor.
now you will have an active warrant for her arrest. So she had an opportunity to try to resolve this amicably, and
Yes.
she didn't. So,
Your Honor,
you know,
and for what it's worth, I mean, at this juncture, it's a little too late, but she did reach back to me and let me know that she did contact somebody with a mobile device, and the earliest appointment she could have gotten was 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. But nonetheless, she didn't log in this afternoon to explain that to the court or give me an opportunity to advocate for her on her behalf. So, but I'll try to reach out to her, Your Honor. Hopefully, she does answer our calls again, and I'll let her know the situation, Judge.
Okay. Yes, and you're correct. If she would have just shown up and said that and said, Judge, I couldn't get it today. I called in and my appointment, the earliest I could do is tomorrow at 9, and perhaps I would have been understanding of that. But
Sure. Yeah.
okay.
No, I understand, Your Honor. Well, thank you so much, and I'll keep doing the best I can to try to get this case resolved, Judge.
If you do contact her and you do notify her that she has a knife fight, and if you want to get it recalled, let my staff know. We'll try to get you on
Okay, Judge.
as soon as possible, and then we'll deal with her at that point. However, encourage her that the next time she does come before me, whether it's to get the knife eye recalled or whether they pick her up on the warrant, that she should at least have the device with her already so that she can at least show good faith.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Will do, Your Honor. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Likewise. Mr. Trevino, did you forget
Judge,
about?
sorry I'm late.
Okay.
Apologize, Judge. And I had everything down this morning. Number 4 on your docket, Santonino Amador. I had everything down, Judge, but then I came to municipal court and here I am. Sorry, Judge.
Okay, CR 21-05767-I. Okay, so Mr. Amador is present. I am being told that he does have a fugitive warrant. What do you want to do on this case?
The felony charge, Your Honor, was non-prosecuted, I guess. So he has been in jail for, I want to say at least 60 days, Judge, if not more, since I last talked to him. I would like to do some time served, Judge, on this case. I just don't have the paperwork yet.
Okay, what is the
paperwork was sent on June the 7th.
The paperwork for the time served was sent to you on June the 7th, Mr. Trevino.
Oh, no, Your Honor, I never got it, Judge. I would have.
I was gonna say check your spam folder, maybe.
Can you just reset me, Judge, for Monday or Tuesday next week so we can get this done? Or tomorrow?
I'm not gonna be here. I would have to find you a judge.
Okay.
So
I don't mind doing that, Judge. I just need to get Mr. Amador this afternoon and get back to him. And if you give me someone, a judge tomorrow or Monday, we get this thing out of the way.
Okay, let me see who is available for you next week, but I will need my staff to contact you to see who can maybe take them on an afternoon docket next week.
That'd be fine, Judge. That'd be fine. I apologize to the court.
Make sure I have prosecutors next week. Will y'all be in, Ms. Wadena?
Yes, Judge, will be in.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and have them work on it and they'll contact you, Mr. Trevino.
Very well, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay, and we'll go ahead and Ms. Wadena, can you have that paperwork resent, please?
Yes, Your Honor, I'm doing that right now.
Thank you.
It's being done right now, Mr. Trevino.
Thank you, Ms. Wadena. Thank you, Judge.
Okay, you have a good day.
You too, Judge. Bye-bye.
Wow, my allergies are out of control. Okay, so Ms. Cedillo, we're gonna recall your case, which is Ms. Arellano. Ms. Arellano, please turn your camera on.
Aquí estoy, juez.
Ms. Castañeda, I believe she's gonna need the services of an interpreter.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Ms. Castañeda, ask her if she's made arrangements, the necessary arrangements for her to turn herself in shortly.
Ms. Arellano, ¿ya hizo usted sus arreglos personales para entregarse a hoy?
Sí. Quisiera pedir que pudiera explicar la situación. No es tal.
The situation?
No, tell her no, because all I'm hearing is excuses.
No, porque nada más estoy escuchando excusas.
No,
Okay.
ma'am, no son
Your Honor.
excusas.
Ms. Arellano, don't say anything. Judge, I had an opportunity to speak with Ms. Arellano. She was forthcoming with me, Judge, that she had violated the court's order. She was extremely apologetic. She's asking the court to consider giving her another opportunity. She assures me and the court that there will be no violations, Judge. There will be no missed tests, no late tests, nothing of the sort, Judge. I think that she is well aware of the court's power at this point to have her arrested at any moment, and violating her condition of bond will lead to that, Judge. So she's asking the court to consider one more opportunity.
Does she have any children?
She does not, Judge.
Ms. Soto, prior to these violations, what types of violations did Ms. Arellano have?
Judge, I do recall that on June the 3rd, Judge, you did admonish her for having some skip tests, Judge. So June the 3rd, you admonished her, and then she had that violation while she was in Las Vegas, Judge.
Okay. That's the problem I have, is that this is going to be actually her third chance, because she was before me on the 3rd. She had skipped tests. I thought I had made myself clear as to not to be, violating the court's order. And not only did she didn't skip the test, she had positive alcohol violations. She went ahead and took the tests, and then she was very, very high on those. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to place her on AIP. And I'm going to keep a very close eye on her. And then we'll see how she does for about a time period, and I'll decide that time period depending. But because of her actions, I'm going to be keeping a very close eye on her. And look, I don't have any problem setting statuses just to babysit somebody. I really don't. I know some judges may, but I don't, because she's a threat to me being on the road. So if I don't want her to be a threat to me, I don't want her to be a threat to anybody. And if I need to have somebody on my docket once a month or so just to see how they're doing, I'm going to do it. Because it concerns me that she's under my watch and she's having these alcohol violations. It concerns me, knowing that these reports are going to my probation officer. So it's not like they're just going up in the air and nobody's checking on them. They're going to my probation officer and they're getting reported to me. So what I'm going to do, because we're already at the end of the docket. So Ms. Arellano, this is your last chance. Ms. Castañeda,
Yes.
please let her know that this is her last chance.
Esta es su última oportunidad, Ms. Arellano.
And I'm going to have her wait. Or Ms. Soto, you just want her phone number?
Yes, Judge, and I'll call her after court, Judge.
Okay. Ask Ms. Arellano for her phone number.
Ms. Arellano, ¿qué es su número de teléfono?
956-215-3436.
I'll call you after court.
Okay. This is going to be, Ms. Cedillo, I can't even stress enough to her that this will be her last opportunity. And
Thank you, Judge.
I'm not going to mess, I just not going to be disrespected like this. And she needs to understand that she's disrespecting you, because she's also making it hard for you to defend her. So I'm going to place her on AIP for a time period to be determined on her behavior. I'm going to set her for a status just on violations. On the earliest date that I have is August the 26th at 9:30 a.m. And we're going to run a report for about 60 days, because that's about how much it's going to be, to see how she's doing. And I expect 0 late tests and 0 alcohol violations. So, and on top of that, you're gonna have AIP conditions, and those will be explained to you. So anyway, okay, Ms. Anil, anything else?
No, Your Honor, we appreciate the court, and she is well aware of how close she was to going to jail, Judge, so we appreciate that. Having no further business, may we be excused, Your Honor?
Certainly, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay,
Gracias, Judge.
Tomas Arispe, who is that? Mr.
Yes,
Arispe, do you have an attorney?
no, ma'am.
What number is he on our docket? Does anybody happen to know?
I don't see him on the docket, Your Honor, for the afternoon or the morning.
Mr. Arispe, how did you get our link, sir?
I had called the core number 9 and they gave me the number. I had also called the misdemeanor department and they gave me the number for the core number 9. And from there, they gave me the number for here.
Mr. Arispe, can I have your date of birth?
Yes, it's going to be 07-19-2000.
Judge, I'm not sure who gave him the link information. He does have an arraignment set for September the 9th. You're on mute, Your Honor.
Sorry. Okay, September the 9th?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Arispe, you're gonna return on September the 9th, sir.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
I'm glad.
Thank you.
All right, we'll see you.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Let's go back to the docket. The only one I have is Jorge Martinez, right? That didn't show up. That's the only one that we see pending.
The 40, what is it, Judge? 40 through 44?
Yes, ma'am.
That's correct.
Was the Daniel Sanchez reset?
That's the one that we had discussed. Okay, let me call Mr. Damien. Can you please call Jorge Martinez 3 times?
Yes, ma'am. Jorge Martinez. Jorge Martinez. Jorge Martinez.
Okay, being that the defendant's name was called out 3 times and there was no response, what does the state say about this no-show defendant?
State requests that a judgment not shall be granted. I keep this issue when all one forfeit when this no show defendant.